Alright guys, we're back in 56 minutes. Oh my. So we're just doing we're continuing our diary of a wimpy kid and stuff. And what page were we on? Oh, page 20. Did you know if your hand is bigger than your face, it's a sign of low intelligence? Really? Gotcha! Wop! But do I have low intelligence? Let me check again. Monday. You know how I said I play all sorts of pranks on Raleigh? Well, I have a little brother named Manny. I can never get away with pulling any of that stuff on him. Mom and Dad have been protecting Manny like he is a prince or something. And he never gets in trouble even if he really deserves it. Yesterday, Manny drew a self-portrait on my bedroom door in permanent marker. I thought Mom and Dad were really gonna let him have it, but as usual, I was wrong. But the thing that bugs me is the most about Manny is the nickname he has for me. When he was a baby, he couldn't pronounce brother, so he started calling me Bubby, and he still calls me that now, even though if I keep trying Mom and Dad to stop. Luckily, I have none of my friends who found out yet, but believe me, I had some really close calls. Happy birthday, Greg! Hey, this one says to Bubby, must have been a mistake. Toss. Guys, we're going to read the rest of this chapter. Which is 48 pages. Mom makes me help Manny to get ready for school. And this morning, after I make Manny breakfast, he carries the cereal bowl into the living room and sits on his plastic potty. And when it's time for him to go to daycare, he gets up and dumps whatever he didn't eat right into the toilet. Mom is always getting on about me from not finishing my breakfast. But if she had to scrape cornflakes out of the bottom of a plastic potty every morning, she wouldn't have much to evaporate either. Tuesday. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am super good at video games. That's me too. I'll bet I can beat anyone in my grade head to head. Sort of, for me. Unfortunately, Dad does not appreciates my skills. He was getting on me of going outside. It's already going me to do something active. So tonight after dinner, when Dad started hassling me out going outside, I tried to explain how in video games you can play sports like football and soccer and you don't even get hot and sweaty. Dad is a pretty smart guy, but when it comes to common sense, sometimes I wonder about him. I'm sure this man told my video game system if he could figure out how to do it. But luckily, the people who make these make them parent-proof. Dag nab these fancy gadgets. He's pulling the cord from the video game. Every time Dad kicks me out, do something sporty, I just head up to Raleigh's house and play my video games there. Fortunately, the only games I can play at Raleigh's are car racing games and stuff like that. Because whenever I bring a game up to Raleigh's house, his dad looks up on the parents' website, and if my game has any fighting or violence, he wouldn't let us play. I'm getting a little sick of Formula Formula One racing with Rowley, because he's not a serious gamer like me. All you have to beat him. His name all to beat Rowley. His name requires something ridiculous at the beginning of the game. And when you pass Rowley's car, it just falls to pieces. That far ahead. Blah! Anyway, after I got done mopping the floor with Rowley today, I headed home and ran for the neighbor's sprinkler a couple of times to make it look like I was all sweaty, and that seemed to do the trick for Dad. Whew! But my trick kind of backfired. Because as soon as Mom saw me, she made me go upstairs to take a shower. Wednesday, I guess Dad must have been pretty happy with himself for making me go outside yesterday, because he didn't again. It's getting annoying having to go up to Rowley's house every time I want to play a video game. There's this weird kid named Fragley who lives half down between my house and Rowley's. Between my house and Rowley's, and Fragley is always hanging out in his front yard, so it's pretty hard to avoid him. You want to see my secret freckle? No thanks. I kind of sounded like Fragley from the movie. Fragley is in my phys ed class at school. And he has this whole made up language. Like when he needs to go to the bathroom, he says, "Juice, juice." Us kids much figured Fragrantly out by now, but I don't think the teachers have really caught on yet. Today I probably would have gone to Rowley on my own anyway, because I have a brother, Roderick, and his band is practicing down in the basement. Roderick's band is really awful. I can't stand being home when they're having rehearsals. His band is called Loaded Diaper, only it's spelled loaded, L-O-D-E-D, diaper, D-I-P-E-R. On Roderick's van. You might think he spelled it that way to make it look cooler, but if you told Roderick how Loaded Diaper is really spelled, it would be news to him. Dad is against the idea of starting a band, but Mom was all for it. She's the one of us who bought Roderick's first drum set. I think Mom has this idea we're gonna learn how to play instruments and then become one of those family bands you see on TV. Dad really hates heavy metal, and that's the kind of music Roderick and his band play. I don't think Mom really cares what Roderick plays or listens to, because all her music is in the same. In fact, earlier today, Roderick was listening to one of his CDs in the family room, and Mom came in and started dancing. That really bugged Roderick, so he drove off to the store, and 15 minutes later, he with some headphones, and that pretty much took care of the problem. Thursday. Yesterday, Roger got a new heavy metal CD. It had one of those parental warning stickers on it. I would never got to listen to those parental warning CDs because Mom and Dad had never let me buy them at the mall. I realized the only way I'm going to get a chance to listen to Roderick's CD if I snuck it out of the house. This morning, after Roderick left, I called up Rowley and told him to bring his CD player to school. then I went down and took the CD off the rack. And then I went down to Roderick's room and took the CD off the rack. You're not allowed to bring personal music players to school, so we had to wait until lunch when the teachers let us outside. That's kind of like my class. I don't understand. As soon as we got a chance, me and Rowley, we snuck around the back of the school and loaded up Roderick's CD. But Rowley forgot to put batteries in the CD player, so it was really much worthless. Then I came up with this great idea for a game. The object was to put the headphones on your head, then try to shake them off without using your hands. The winner was whoever could shake the headphones the shortest. Here it is. It's off the shortest amount of time. I had the record with 7.5 seconds, but I think I shook some of my fillings loose with that one. Right in the middle of our game, Mrs. Craig came around the corner and caught us red-handed. She took the music player away from me and started chewing us out. But I think she had the wrong idea, about what we were doing back there. She started telling us how rock and roll is evil, how it's going to ruin our brains. So I was telling her that there weren't any batteries in CD player, but I just could tell she didn't want to be interrupted. So I just waited until she was done. Then I said, "Yes, ma'am." But right when Mrs. Craig was about to go, Rowley started blubbering about how he doesn't want rock and roll to ruin his brains. Honestly, sometimes I don't know about that boy. Oh my. Just gonna read 40 pages. Friday. Now I've gone and done it. Last night, after everyone was in bed, I snuck downstairs to listen to Roderick's CD on the stereo in the family room. I put Roderick's new headphones on and cranked up the volume really high, and then I hit play. First, let me just say, I can understand why they put that parental warning sticker on the CD, but I got to hear about 30 seconds of the first song before I got interrupted. It turns out I didn't have the headphones plugged into the stereo, so the music was actually coming from the speakers, not the headphones. Dad marched up to my room and shut the door behind him and then said, Let you and me have a talk, friend." Whenever Dad says friend, that way you know you're in trouble. The first time Dad ever said friend like that to me, I didn't know what he was being. I didn't get he was being sarcastic. So it kind of let my guard down. Friend equal good. I don't make that mistake anymore. Tonight, Daddy yelled at me for about 10 minutes. He decided he would rather be in bed than standing in my room in his underwear. He told me I was grounded from playing video games for 2 weeks, which was what I expected. The good thing about Dad is when he gets mad, he cools off really quick, then it's over. Usually, if you mess up in front of Dad, he feels whatever he hands at you. Good time to screw up, kick. Bad time to screw up, kick. So the good time to screw up is when he's like reading the paper, and bad time to screw up is when he's doing some work in the yard. Okay. Mom has a totally different style when it comes to punishment. If you mess up and Mom catches you, first thing she does is take a few days to wonder what your punishment should be. Roderick's punishment was that he had to answer a bunch of questions Mom had written out for him. I skipped a page. And while you're waiting, you do all these nice things. Try to get off easier. I just dusted the dining room for the heck of it. How thoughtful of you. But then after a few days, when you forget you're in trouble, that's when she lays it on you. Are you having fun? Yeah, no video games for a week. This video game is a lot tougher than I thought it would be, but at least I'm not the only family who's in trouble. Roderick got some hot water with Mom right now, too. Manny got a hold of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, and one of the pages had a picture of a woman in a bikini lying across the hood of a car, and Manny brought him to daycare for show and tell. Anyway, I don't think Mom is too happy about getting that phone call. I saw the magazine myself, and honestly, it didn't work out. I'll tell you, it wasn't anything to work up over. Mom doesn't allow that kind of stuff in the house. Roderick's punishment was that he had to answer a bunch of questions since Mom had to written out for him. Did only this magazine make you a better person? No. Did it make you more popular in school? No. How do you feel about having owned this type of magazine now? I feel ashamed. Do you have anything you want to say to women for having owned this offensive magazine? I'm sorry, woman. Wednesday, I'm still grounded from playing video games, so Manny has been using my system. When Mom went out and bought a whole bunch of educational video games, and watching Manny play them is like torture. What number comes after 2 and rhymes with tree? 3! Good news is that I finally figured out to get some of my games past Riley's dad. I put one of the discs in Manny's Discovering Alphabet case, and that's all what it took. Oh my! We're so close to chapter 2. Thursday, at school, they announced the student government elections are coming up. To be honest with you, I've never had any interest in student government. But when I started thinking about it, I realized getting elected the treasurer could be totally my solution. And we cheerleaders are tired of riding 2 games in the same bus as the nerds in the band. Let me see what I can do. And even better, we jocks just need an air pump to inflate our only football. Yeah, sorry, I can't help you with that. Nobody ever thinks about running for treasurer because all anyone cares about is the big ticket positions like president and vice president. So I figure out I sign up tomorrow, but the treasurer job is pretty much mine for the taking. Friday, I won and put my name on the list to run treasurer. Unfortunately, this kid named Marty Porter is running for treasurer too, and he's real brainy at math. so he might not be easy as I thought. I told Dad I was running for student government. He seemed pretty excited. It turns out he ran for student government when he was my age. He actually won. Dad dug through some old boxes in the basement and found one of the champion posters. It turned the honestly know how vote. Frank Heffley for Frank Heffley. As I thought, the poster idea was really good. So I asked Dad to drive me to the store and get some supplies. I loaded up the poster board and markers and spent the rest of my night making all champion stuff. So I hope these posters will work. Monday, I brought my posters to school today, and I have to say they came out pretty good. I started hanging out my posters up as soon as I got in, but they were only for minutes until Vice Principal Roy spotted them. Mr. Roy said you weren't allowed to write fabrications about other candidates. So I told Mr. Roy the thing about the headlights was true, and how I practically closed down the whole school when it happened. But he took down my posters anyway. So Mary Porter was heading out for lollipops to buy for himself. The votes, while my posters were sitting at the bottom of Mr. Roy's trash can. I guess this means my total career is officially over. That's the end of October. That's the end of September. Thanks for listening. Bye.